Well, both Kevin and I have made some progress on our doll houses, and I'm going to show you this journey. Yeah, it's starting to come together. There's still quite a bit of work left to do, but I can't wait to show you exactly what we're up to. As you can see, mine has some considerable wood loss on the front of the house, which I've had to repair. And I'm going to explain in this video just how I went about doing this. It was a lot of work. I think I might have a little bit of an unfair advantage over a lot of people in terms of my husband is an auto body mechanic, and using Bondo or auto body filler is probably the strongest stuff that you could probably use as a filler. It's much stronger than a wood filler, but you have to work with it very, very quickly because it completely dries within 5 minutes. This is something that I would not be capable of doing myself. So I've enlisted the help of my husband to work on this with me. This is what this stuff looks like. Now, you have to mix it for a good 5 to 10 minutes to make sure that it's fully mixed. This particular can of filler has been in our basement for about 4 years, so I really have to mix it well. And it says on the can that you mix it with an up and down motion, like the way I'm mixing it. It's a two-part process, so you have to add some blue to it. So what he's done is he's taped it off so it's not going to be leaking through the other side of the dollhouse. And then he's going to mix it together and do it for me. And the reason why he's doing it for me is because you have to work so quickly with it. And he does this for a living, so it makes way more sense for him to do this rather than me, because I know I would have screwed it up for sure, without a doubt. So he's taking some out of the can, and as you can see, he uses a spare piece of cardboard, and he mixes it really well with that little spatula that's specifically for doing auto body work. And then here is the two part. So this is the hardener that has to be added to it. And yeah, and it's specifically for the auto body trade. And boy, it just really does an excellent job. So as you can see, he's mixing the blue with the yellow, which of course is going to make it turn green, but he's got to make sure that it's mixed in properly. And this job has to be done so quickly. Like it's actually incredible how fast this stuff sets up. So you can see he's done this once or twice. So yeah, he's really good at doing this. So he's just mixing it up and making sure that it's nice and smooth and that the colors are mixed together quite well. I know it might be a little bit boring for you to watch this in real time, but I think showing it to you in real time so you will get a sense if you ever want to try this yourself. It makes a lot more sense for you to be able to see how it really is done. And as you can see, he's just kind of smoothing it through, making sure that it's like absolutely perfect. And there you go. Now it's ready to use. So he's got the dollhouse turned upside down, and then he's just going to quickly fill it. And trust me, if he doesn't work quick with this stuff, it's no good to anybody. So he's just filling it along this edge. Now, do you see how the wood kind of sticks out over top of the side of the dollhouse? After he's finished filling it, and when I go back to sand it, I am going to be sanding that wood so that it's absolutely flush with the side of the dollhouse. So it is overhanging slightly here, but that's okay. After everything's sanded, it won't be. So, and yes, I did add probably a centimeter to the overall width of the dollhouse, but I don't think that there's anything that I could do to avoid that, short of actually taking both sides of the dollhouse off and replacing them with new wood. And I would rather keep the old wood, and I think this is better to keep the integrity of the actual dollhouse. Yeah, and that's more important to me than anything, is to be able to keep as much of the originality of the house as I possibly can. I mean, it's a huge shame that all of the original papers are now off of this dollhouse and completely gone, and that, I mean, this dollhouse probably brought the family that owned it, a lot of little girls, some joy over the years as a child's toy. I mean, obviously, the original papers were mostly completely gone. On the interior of the house has been redecorated at least 3 times, or I should say, it's been redecorated twice since the original papers would have been put on in the manufacturing plant. So he's now filling the holes, which I believe would have been used for wiring the dollhouse for lights at some point. And we're just filling those holes in. Now you can see here there's a little bit of a different technique to filling these holes. So there is masking tape on the other side of the wood, and you can see that he's leaving it in little kind of peaks. So, and we are going to let it dry just like that, and then after about 4 minutes, he'll go back and I'll show you what he'll do. So, yeah, it looks a little bit odd to leave it like that, but I guess that's the way it's done. So I'm gonna just kind of walk away from it and give it 4 or 5 minutes, and then come back and show you how he handles that. So yeah, so now it's been drying for about 5 minutes, and you see he's got a knife, and he's just cutting that off with the razor blade and making it level. So, and it is fully cured at this point, so, or almost fully cured. So in this area here, the bondo's a little bit thicker than in the other areas, so because it's completely plugging that hole. And then he said to me, take the masking tape off right away, because if you leave it on, then you won't get it off. So you can see here that's what it looks like before it's been sanded. And goodbye to the holes. Like, now you remember this side? This is the side that you could see right through the dollhouse. And now it is completely filled. And do you see the notch in the front there? The little green square? That was where I had sort of overkilled with my trimming. But that's okay, it's fixed now. And the same with that side there. I had trimmed out a little square for the second floor just to make sure that everything would fit in. And it turns out that I really didn't need to do that, but I did it anyways. So now it's all filled and it looks perfect. So yeah, I'm really, really quite pleased. And see here where the holes were? Much better. So, I mean, you won't even be able to see that once it's painted. It looks like a totally different house, doesn't it? With the wood all filled in like that, and all of the paper removed that I did in the previous video. And now I've got to attack it by doing quite a bit of sanding, which I've been working on here today. So you can see here now it's flush. So I've taken that little edge off and I've sanded it all down so that it'll be really, really not noticeable at all when I go to paint it. and the back has now been removed, and I've taken it to the shop. So this is what the back looks like, and that is not the original back to this dollhouse, and so it is going to be discarded. And so now I gotta cut a new back for it. So Leslie is actually doing this on the big saw for me because she uses this saw all the time, and to be honest with you, it makes me a little bit nervous, this saw. So she's just cutting down my plywood that I have brought to the shop with me. So this is, for those of you that don't know, this is the pottery studio that I go to. It's a make it space, and it has everything from woodworking to metalworking and electronic shop, and you name it. Anything that you could possibly think of, we have here at this studio. It's a great deal of fun, and I really, really, really enjoy the friendships that I've made while being there. So you can see here, we're just fitting it onto the back to make sure our measurements were correct, and it looks like we did pretty good. Might have just a slight little bit to trim off the bottom, but other than that, it's looking pretty good. So now let's see what Kevin was up to today.
So, ladies and gentlemen, here I am on part 4 of my 37 build. On examination of the rear of the roof, I've made the decision that I'm going to replace it. You can see down here there's quite a lot of damage to the roof and also a lot of woodworm. So by removing it, that will eradicate that problem. So here we have signs of the woodworm, which I will have to treat. So we'll be treating that in the next few days. And also by removing one half of the roof, it means I can get at it to treat it properly. This piece of solid wood is okay, so I'll remove that and put it onto the new plywood. Now I'm just marking up the position basically of this piece of wood that allows the roof to be strengthened, so as I know on the new piece of wood exactly where that was on the original piece. And once that's taken off, that's great, and restored. Okay, so that's basically removed the original piece which I want to retain for the new roof piece, and then I've got the exact position on the old one. All the old one now de-nailed, so as I don't well, except one there. I'll take that one out there, and that will save me sticking nails into myself as I make the new piece from this old one. You can see that I'm also at the same time restoring this Ultra 45, more or less the same sort of condition and problems. So when I make the new plywood for the 37, I will also be making new plywood for the 45. You'll have to excuse the rain on the roof of my workshop today. I removed this piece of plywood from an Edwardian wardrobe a couple of weeks ago, and it's the exact thickness and age of the 37 Dollhouse. So by obviously marking on top of with the original and reversing it round so as I can get the radius back, this will serve great as a new piece. So there's a beveled edge on this roof because obviously it has to meet the rest of the Dollhouse roof, so that needs putting on, and then so I mark where that needs to be, and then where the joining piece needs to be to strengthen it back to the original roof. So we'll be putting that in next. I'll put the beveled edge on first, and then I'll actually glue the old piece to this new piece. So here's our new piece of plywood for the roof, with the original strengthening piece of pine attached to it, glued and gluing nicely. I like to, somewhere on my restorations, put a date and who I am for future generations. Who knows, in another 100 years time someone might look at this and get some sort of clue when it was restored from this time. So don't get confused, but while I'm doing plywood sides, this was an absolutely perfect opportunity, while I've got the plywood at hand and all the kit, to actually make the new pieces to replace very bad plywood that's on the Ultra 45. It was very badly water damaged and woodworm damaged, so I'm bringing this Dollhouse, the 45, back from the dead. Wait and see how these come out. So here are the roughed out pieces of the ultra modern 45 triangle. While I got the plywood out for this, it was perfect just to rough the pieces out and put them now on one side, ready to come to that project as and when we finish the the lines 37. So that's there. So all is ready to fix this new roof piece down as soon as I've done the woodworm killing, and obviously Lisa and I now are seriously in a race, and this is what these two bills are about, to see who comes up with the better project, and hopefully equally just the same in our own ways.
Well, I guess my next discovery was when I went to sand the base. And trust me, I was masked right up and outdoors. I discovered that underneath that light green paint is black paint. So I was really hopeful that my base would have also been that lovely dark green color. But unfortunately, my base is going to have to be black. So underneath that pale green color that it was painted, yeah, it's black under there. Oh well, that's the color it's going to have to be, I guess. If you enjoyed today's video and would like to help support my channel, you can do so by buying me a coffee. Just go to www.buymeacoffee.com/Lisa I'd like to thank everyone that has helped to support my channel by going to buymeacoffee.com. It's appreciated more than you know. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing. It really does help my channel grow. Also hit the notification bell. That way you'll know every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much for all of your lovely comments. I so enjoy reading them. And thank you once again to Kevin in the UK for doing this cross-Atlantic interesting little trip with me. It's so much fun. During our next video, we plan to do a little bit about how we sort of come up with the age of this house. So we've kind of got a theory we're going to go over. Well, once again, everyone, have the best day ever.